The banquet. There's this idea I've always clung to. Most people won't even consider it. Are our ideas our own, or do they come from somewhere else? Maybe some are our own, but sometimes we pick up a signal from the universe, a forgotten memory locked in time. I've been creating the ritual for a clan called the Kucha. I've come to the point in my craft where all the pieces have aligned. There's only one possible outcome. This final ritual, the Karlach. The product of all that came before. But there's something different about this one. It's driving me. Like I'm not in control. Just a vessel for some ancient knowledge. Are my shoulders heavy with the weight of a legacy? The long-lost memories of some chieftain? I've read about tribes lost to time, their blood sacrifices scrubbed from history by modern squeamishes. Maybe that's why this one haunts me. It's not invented, but remembered. It is the succession ritual of the Kucha. This ritual was not for the faint of heart. It is believed that the Great Spirit dwells inside of the chieftain. In order to share the Great Spirit among the tribe, each person must partake of the flesh of the chieftain. To share it, the tribe must consume his flesh. Proving the worth of the tribe and the Great Spirit is no easy task. He must complete the ritual without moving or making a sound to show the Great Spirit that the village is more important than himself. The prosperity and happiness of his people outweighs his personal experience, proving the village outweighs his own suffering. Words on the page begin to spin. I blinked hard as I caught myself wandering away from my body as always. I must have passed out for a second. Look up at the clock. 4:06 a.m. It's not that late. Shake my head and kick my feet. Gotta get that blood flowing. Wiggle in my chair, almost dancing in my own way. My eyes stung as I tried to keep them open. My efforts were futile. With them closed, imagining is easier. I could see it now, the festival of succession, the Karlach. Bodies of the tribe, the dances, the singing, peacock feathers woven as cloth into clothes around their bodies. More eyes, the more status. The man in the plot wore enough to mark him as chieftain. I could almost smell the stew. Pots aligned in a circle around him. The fog of my mind thins, sensation and thought return. A yawn on the tip of my tongue. It lingers, then executes, builds, and escapes. My jaw snaps as it opens. Damn braces ruined it. I get lost in the pen and paper, always sleeping at my desk, which doesn't help. A darting awareness hits my skull. I tried to roll over. My body was frozen. I tried to move my arms and legs. Futile. Here we go again. Just another Tuesday. Frozen, arms, legs, nothing. Sleep paralysis again. At my desk, I can feel myself in an upright position. The last few memories of writing spring into my thoughts. Despite how clear my mind is, my body is broken. My efforts are in vain, just a useless husk being crushed under gravity's thumb. Fear hits me like a bat to the knees. I'm falling endlessly, reaching out to grab onto non-existent ledges or walls. In my head, my heart is racing, but all I can feel is a steady pump in my chest. Pressure, crushing down on me. Daydream bleeding in? Usually it's just a void. I try to move again, but it's no use. Feels like I'm wearing a fat suit, still nothing, but I can't even feel my bones or muscles straining. My mind searching for answers. How do I escape? I waited. Wake up! Wake up! You're dreaming! Wake up, you idiot! You're dreaming! Fear seeps in. This dissonance is wrong. I try to fling myself. A quick roll and I could upset myself. Just a quick motion. Jolt myself back to reality. Sounds seep in. Clanking metal, shouting crowd, shuffling feet. Smells disperse with the spice locked in the lingering smoke. Feast aromas. The realization of a dream overwhelms me. Once your mind picks up on it, everything falls apart. The walls of the world crumble. Then it's just cold and wet. Soft smell of aged paper, waking with drool in my beard and my notebook scarred with drool marks. Badge of honor of a true writer. Alas, it still lingers. I just needed to pinch myself. That always works. A simple, tiny prick will shock me awake. I struggle to move in vain. Clear mind, my ass. That's the odd thing about dreams. Everything feels natural, especially when it's not. This is getting frustrating. At least it's better than helplessness. Maybe scream myself out of bed? Get your bumbling fat ass out of bed! Wake the fuck up! I screamed. Whisper wind louder now. I could tell it was saying something. This voice from the abyss. Then it thunders. Dreams! Imposing, not threatening. Sound shaking my skull. Panic wells. Never had there been such a clear voice in my head. Was this me? My buried darkness? Too many late nights. My brain is finally telling me to calm down. Voice responds. Afterlife be dreams. What are you, my alter ego? Sarcasm masks my fear. Took a second to hit me. Afterlife. Am I dead? Can't be. Just a dream. I still feel here. The voice shook my head once more. Great Spirit be all before. All be one. Set be Carlock. Great Spirit, not be end journey. Formed the shaky words. Wait, you can hear my thoughts? Great Spirit shares all. Great Spirit be all before. All be one. Set be Carlock. That was it. The name. The ritual. What it all came down to. How do you know about the Carlock and the Great Spirit? Image of the chieftain in the pot of water covered in peacock eyes surged into my mind. Could you be a Kucha chieftain? Me be chieftain, Great Spirit come to Kucha. Flesh taken unto Carlock. Be worthy of Great Spirit, I will. Some things were making sense. Not dead, just my subconscious. Be the Great Spirit, the ancestors be one soul of our people. You be judge of me. I'm the Great Spirit. Great Spirit be in the body of me. No other be in another. That's why I can't control myself and why my body feels so much bigger. I must weigh like 500 pounds. If this mind belongs to that body and I'm only here to observe, should I say who I am or just be the Great Spirit? I could definitely play it. So, if I'm inside your head, there has to be a reason, right? I didn't bring myself here. You must have, I asked. He responded, Be Carlock. Carlock bring Great Spirit. Great Spirit judge Carlock. The words stuck in my mind. A sudden cold, dark, heart-stopping dread overcame me. The Carlock was beginning. My mouth began to open. Foreign words spewed forth, not by my command. The Kucha be seen worthy by Great Spirit. Kucha way of life be recognized. The Carlock be blessed. Blessed my son be. Come forward. My head turns to see behind the pot a young man standing on a makeshift stage with a large throne behind him. Fat rolls protruding across his body. The man walked forward, placed his hand on my head. Me be as worthy, father. You taught me well. Our ways be forever. The Kucha live long. Be Carlock. We be one. With a heave, the man lifted his arm and grabbed the torch from the holster of woven sticks it sat in and bent down. He lit the wood pile at the pot's base, the flames quickly engulfing the outside of the pot. He walked around it, making sure the fire was thorough. Placing the torch reverently in its holster, he steps back towards the throne and sits down. My mouth moved on its own. Words spewed from my maw once more. Bring my flesh to you, brethren. Spoken Great Spirit be. This breath was different. Not steadily pulled through gritted teeth, a deep nasal inhale. Spice of the feast outside flares to life, the smell potent and forceful, tickling the depths of my nose. Not even a twitch, not the slightest eyeball movement, staring forward, proving a point. Villagers gather close, preparing for the next step. The dread that I might not wake up was building. If I can smell what's around me, taste what he tastes, feel his sneeze, and yet not act, what the hell have I got myself into? My mind would break before the ritual was even done. Feels like ages, but it was probably a minute. The water in the pot was still not boiling. I was not a frog. My skin was ready to peel off as the water devastated it. I released the breath. Oh boy, you think inhaling on a sneeze is bad. Try holding it and then exhaling. I probably deserve this. The rhythm of the breathing continues once more. The feeling to sneeze fades. I know it was foolish. To think simple words could stop it. He was committed to far worse. You think some simple meditation mind trick is gonna save you from the pain. Told you, the whole thing is bullshit. What was the point? Even I couldn't deny the shaking of my voice. I had lost all substance. Not that I had any to begin with. This is where all shame falls apart. Where you're willing to do anything, say anything, just to escape. As the Great Spirit, I declare you worthy. Listen to me. You don't need to do this. You've been mistaken this whole time, misinterpreting the words and the ways, turning away from the true spirits. Don't sacrifice yourself for nothing. frantically searched for other options. His son. Use his son. Don't you want to live to see your grandchildren? Don't deprive them of your great influence and power? Nothing. Small words from a small being. A scared, pathetic small being. Condemning an entire society. Groveling and begging to undo generations of belief. All so I don't have to feel it. I really am a joke. All of the villagers surround the pot, pressing shoulders to get closer, but never stepping within that line around it, leaving room for each to step into the circle and take their piece of the Great Spirit. Smiles of joy and looks of relief spread across young and old faces, their attention directed at me. Only silence. The simple acts of the flesh told the story, or should I say, the lack of. At least I could appreciate that the control was immaculate. Would you believe the serpent on your shoulder? I know for sure for some simple convenience of weak mind, the sweet siren song, I definitely would. At least I won't see it coming. Nothing I say could stop or derail what his life, his whole life, had prepared him for. This moment. I could never stop that. Even my own creations. Shows how much I know. At least there's a lesson here, if I survive, or remember this. I may have a great idea for the world and the people in it, but it lacks a single person. A true soul bound by life's challenges, degraded by his failures, uplifted by those around him. For he has done great deeds, a leader, a provider, a symbol for the future. It all rode on his back, his way of life, the rituals of his tribe. My thoughts halt. The deep guttural rhythm of vibrating vocal cords erupted in my ears, throat preparation. My mind screamed, let me out of here, I don't want this, I don't want to be here, just let me wake up. This was really happening. Absolutely on cue, all the villagers turned towards me. I see knives and plates in their hands. My bulging stomach is placed on a platter. I was frozen inside of my body. If this was my first lucid dream, it better be my last. Have I ever felt pain in my dreams before? I should wake up before the knife digs into my flesh, right? The knife is steady as my body, but not as steady as my mind. Not my mind by far. Pain was real, but this couldn't be. I tried to pull away, tried to move. This was my punishment. And the lack of consequences led me to create this ritual. All of this extra fat is going to be cut off, cooked, and fed to me. Maybe I should have taken that advice. The knife is coming down. First, second, third, fourth cut. The silence in my mind is broken with my sharp screams. They're my own, distant, cruel. In this dream, at last, yes, I did feel pain. It did not wake me up. I would have to sit through this and endure it, just like my creations. Even as pieces of me are removed, I'll still have to endure. The villagers begin to chant as they walk away with those cuts of meat. Smoke thickens as it's thrown into pots. Every villager takes one piece, their gateway to the ancestors. To consume the flesh that was inhabited by the Great Spirit was to be judged by it. If you died, it was because you were not worthy. Things such as disease were unknown to them. If you were worthy of being a member of the Kucha clan, you would live a long, prosperous life. Blood pours down, muscles flayed, bones scratched, every tiny prick. If I wasn't tearing my eyes out in my head, breaking my fingers and biting my tongue, my mind broken in endless scream in my mind, for no breath exists there. This begging, putrid, tiny creature is me, groveling. Every word imaginable crosses my lips, falling on deaf ears. The final cut. You're a disgrace. You've fallen from the ways. I, the Great Spirit, declare you unworthy. The words a mist in my mind, hidden behind the pain, my inner self reaching out. The words flew from my mind, sent from a hidden box, my mind's haven, the one piece of me that survived the pain. Am I so arrogant? I wish my creations to suffer with me. I have to take a step back. Think, get away from the pain. You are a worthy mind, chieftain. You have changed even me. Silence burned once more in my mind, matching the flesh from the outside. Blood pours from my body, thickening with the water. My back presses against the heated pot, scalding. Liquid bubbling and stewing in my mass. my stomach just above the waterline, prepared for the next step. Villagers gathered with their cooked flesh in hand. They believed in their chieftain. You could see it on their faces. The worst had passed. My nostrils filled with the smell of my own flesh, a spice pungent and fresh. I retched in my mind. Can't help but think about what it's gonna taste like. It's gonna get worse from here. When will I wake up? I just want to wake up. I've learned my lesson. You must master your creations before they master you. Dreams take you to the edge. That rich smell wafting closer with the smoke, each breath more pungent. The only escape was to experience it, stuffing me like a pig. My jaw was being forced open wide. It just started one after the other. Chew, swallow, chew, swallow, chew, swallow. My spirit poured tears. Throat filled, mouth filled, they still pressed. Down it went, each villager's duty to make sure their peace returned to the chieftain. Meat must be imbued with his spirit, ground and minced into the flesh, given the highest yield of potential. Meat slid out of my stomach as it was being squeezed through a pipe like Play-Doh. It folded over itself and falls into fine bunches, a flower of flesh budding out from my exposed entrails. Nearing the end, the pain is gone. My body flops over into stew. I have no form. I have no control. I simply am. A young man sitting on a throne. I could guess he's just like his dad. You can think they are fed well because they are the chieftains, but for the Kucha, if you could not feed the entire village of your flesh, you were not worthy. Two men standing over the pot removed scythes from their sides, each one striking into the wrists of the now dead chieftain. They dragged his hands from the stew. Chieftain's son waddled his way down to the pot, pulling a hatchet from his waist. He severs the arms of his father at the elbows. Without flinching from the burning flesh, he peeled it from the bone, down the forearms, across the palm like a banana splayed open. Holding the arms by the bone, he raised his hands high into the air and proclaimed, "Father, be worthy, Great Spirit bless me, be I worthy when time comes. Kucha reign be 1,000 years, ancestors be in us always." The son devoured the fat puffy meat from the fingers of his father. The hand of the father falls to the son. They shall walk the same path. I felt myself disappearing into shadows. Darkness takes me. My mind dances in silence, then a light, small at first. My vision ablaze. Cold and wet, the rough, slimy, coarse hair rubbing against my face, the drool soaking down my notebook, down my cheeks, down my neck, the sunlight from the window scarring my eyes as I held them tightly shut. Slowly lifted my head as my neck and backbones cracked, the muscles stretching and cramping. A yawn wiping my face, blinking down at my notebook. Staring back at me was a story I had never written. The last lines stopping my breath and holding my stomach in a death grip. My dry throat constricting as I try to swallow. My heart skips multiple beats. Those words stare, begging my remembrance. And now our story has been told.